Yeah. DJ Klyph, back with another episode of the Klyph Notes podcast. It's a part of the DJ Klyph Productions Network. Off top, man, I want to just encourage everybody, if you haven't yet, check out Akepele Apparel. Akepele Apparel has been a supporter of the Klyph Notes podcast for years now, man. Dope clothing line. They just released they have recently released their fall-winter line, and just like, man, good quality material, dope designs, and good people supporting us and what we doing. So if you believe in what we doing here with the Klyph Notes podcast, you got to support the supporters, man. So head over to the website, akepele.com, akepele.com. Hey, yo, also, if you want to support the Klyph Notes podcast and everything that we do with DJ Klyph Productions, check out the Patreon, man. We got the Patreon up, trying to get people to tap in and, help us do what we do. It's so dope to be able to connect with folk. It's so dope to be able to curate and share all of this art with folk. And we're going to keep doing it, but it's going to be easier to do it if we do it with your help. So check out the Patreon page, Patreon, DJ Klyph, DJ Klyph. Become a monthly contributor, patron to the movement, you know what I mean? We keep working on stuff, man. So, the Klyph Notes podcast is a part of the DJ Klyph Productions Network, as is the Welcome to the Neighborhood radio show on X-Ray FM, straight out of Portland, Oregon. The Numbers Mix show that we do called The Rhythm on the Numbers FM Portland. The WTTN Guest Revisited podcast. Everything is Copacetic podcast. The Are You Affiliated podcast. Mic Check PDX. We've been on hiatus just like everybody else because everything has been locked down because of COVID, right? But Mic Check PDX is still a situation, man. We want to come back and do more live shows here in the city. So as things continue to open up, man, we're hoping to be able to do that. So stay tapped in, man, as we try to do some more with with that, man, live shows. Ain't nothing like a live show with some of the artists that you hear through DJ Klyph Productions. All right, yo, this interview, man, is so crazy. If you listen to the stuff that I do, I own it, man. I fanboy out on certain occasions, and I definitely had an opportunity to have a guest on this episode who I'm a fan of, man, and someone who is a member of an iconic group when we consider the genre of hip hop, but yet such a dope producer and individual. Just released a project in 2020, Two Hands Up, one of my favorite projects of the year. Like I said, a member of an iconic hip-hop group, Slum Village. And just good people, man. So I had a chance to chop it up with him. Didn't take too much of his time, but just wanted to share with you a little bit of insight on what's out and what's coming, what we can look forward to. So check out this little quick conversation I had with the homie, man. Like I said, an icon, Slum Village, young RJ, on this episode of the Klyph Notes podcast. Support for the Klyph Notes podcast comes from Akepele Apparel, an idea born from a love of hip-hop, funk, and soul music and its surrounding cultures. With fashion being a huge visual part of the cultures, They've created expressive images to pay homage, invoke nostalgia, and showcase the elements that make up the lifestyle and cultures of these genres. Akepele, apparel for the music lifestyle. For more information, check out akepele.com. That's AKEPELE.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, the show you're about to listen to may contain explicit content. So guess what? You need to put them babies to sleep. This is for grown folks only. So we're not held liable for anything you might be offended by. Thank you for listening. Yes. Yeah. Welcome back to another episode of the Klyph Notes podcast. Available everywhere you get your podcasts. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, Pandora. Like, we literally, anywhere you get audio, you can check out the podcast. Because to everybody who's been checking in all over the world, man, literally all over the world. I see y'all, man. Appreciate y'all. For real. Once again, shout out to our supporters, Akepele, Apparel, for supporting the movement. We're going to jump in though right quick, man. It's so dope to have this cat on the Klyph Notes podcast. We've been building for a few years, and I'm just like more than anything else, man. Like a lot of folk I get to chop it up with. I'm a fan. I've become a fan of this dude who's been putting in work for a while, and I was tripping, man, because I really wasn't up on the whole situation. And we've talked a couple times and touched on some things, but man, I was like, man, we got to do a deep dive on this situation, man. But let them know who you are, man.
Yo, what up? This young RJ from Slum Village. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just checking in, coming in and kicking with my boy for a minute.
Bro, it has been it's been interesting, man, just to, like I said, dive in and really get a sense of everything that you have done in your musical career, man. So a couple things to touch on. But off top, man, like let's do the real check-in, man. Like how are you doing? You know, times have been crazy with everything that we're recording this at the end of February. Everything we went through in 2020, got into 2021 and thought everything was going to be copacetic, and then these fools went to the Capitol and jumped things off there. And like, but how are you doing, B?
Man, I'm just trying to stay sane, man. And locking myself in the studio, I've learned that I have to control what I'm consuming. You know what I'm saying? So I try to stay off the net as much as possible. And that way I can just control what my mental state is, you know what I'm saying? And burying myself in the music, putting all the emotions in the music and trying to stay productive, man. So we got a lot of projects coming out.
Word up, B. Word up, man. So like I said, we talked about some stuff a little bit. You were kind enough to jump on the Welcome to the Neighborhood radio show a little while ago. And so we talked about some things, man. But like I said, I didn't realize how deep it goes in terms of how, your whole musical journey. So things kicked off like early for you in terms of seeing the industry because your pops was a successful musician. I mean, like he was in the scene for a number of years, had a lot of success with RJ's latest arrival. So like, what's your memory of seeing that happen, and what influence did that have on you even like stepping into music?
I mean, that's where it all starts. You know what I'm saying? Without the foundation, you know what I'm saying? None of the rest of the story happens.
Yeah.
So, it started out with me being on tour with them when they was performing with the Fresh Fest. You know what I'm saying? And seeing Run DMC and the Fat Boys and all of them, and being on tour with them and coming out on stage and being a part of they show at like 2 or 3 years old. So, you know what I'm saying? It just continued from there. So that's the most important part, seeing them in the studio, the dedication that it took, the many takes, the long nights, you know what I'm saying, to almost to the point where I'm like, man, this ain't something I want to do. If I got to do all this, I'm straight. And then, luckily it came back.
That's what's up, bro. That's what's up. So then when did you actually like put your foot in the water in terms of making music? Because I know like for a lot of us, especially when it comes to
when it comes to rap. A lot of it is just like that's what you do when you just hanging with your friends. You know what I mean? You hear stuff on the radio, somebody finds an instrumental or something, and you just in the lunchroom rhyming with cats. But like for you, when was it? When did it become I think this is something I wanna do more than just like when I'm chilling with the fellas.
Well, that's exactly how it started. It started off with me being in the kids group, and like a 5-man ABC, Another Bad Creation,
Gotcha.
that kind of group. So it started there with singing and rapping. And actually, one of the songs is on YouTube. It's called "Little Niggas Bad" by Kid You Not.
Oh, word! We gotta look for that.
yeah, man. So that's me rapping, and somebody just kept looping it over and over and over again. But that's where it all started. Then it went from doing that and learning the routines and stuff to saying, "Man, I'm not enjoying my childhood because people don't understand the sacrifice you make."
Yeah.
To pursuing music at a young age. So a lot of stuff I didn't experience. So I stopped doing music for a while. And then my dad would be like, why don't you come up to the studio and, man, come on up here with me. And I'm like, all right, man, I come up there, and then you start bumping into all of these people from Aaliyah and Timberland and, all of them, they were recording at the studio. So like 4 or 5 songs from the One in a Million album was recorded at the studio.
Oh,
so
word.
Timberland picking me up from school with my dad, and we getting up there and going and watch that stuff get made. And, I'm like, okay, this is creative, man, let me try, to get into it a little more.
Boy, but let me ask you this though, man. Cause so in the moment, obviously you'd seen what your pops had done. And you'd really been a part of it, like you talked about even being on stage, so you saw that. But then you see artists who now we look at historically, like Aaliyah, like Timberland, these artists who were celebrated, who have had a ton of success in the music industry. But at that, like during that time, was it just, oh yeah, like this is folk making music, I've seen this all my life? Or was there any sense of, this is dope? I think that, like, did that resonate with you at that time at all?
Yeah, it did. Because the first song that I heard from Timberland was Pony.
Oh, word.
And, my dad helped them get Pony out.
Got you.
So the original 12-inch and stuff like that. So he played me one version of Pony, and then he played me another version of Pony. And I was like, when I heard, what Timberland had done, I was like, okay, this is crazy. So you got that. Then you got seeing Dilla making beats in the kitchen, because we had the studio in the house too before we moved to the other location. So you see all of this stuff, and you like, okay, man, this is something I'm interested in. So you start off grabbing a drum machine, and you're like, it don't sound right. And you set it down, and then you may come back to it. And luckily, I came back to it.
Word. So is that how you met? Is that how you met Dilla then? Because I know your pops was instrumental in or help Slum as they were putting stuff out. Is that how you got connected with Dilla for the first time?
The first time I got connected with Dilla was my kids group. Okay, so my dad and John Sally from the Pistons opened up a studio called Hoop Sound Studios, and they held auditions for talent in the city, of Detroit. So one of the groups was Slum Village. My kids group had to audition still, even though it was my pops.
Word.
Paul Rosenberg, Eminem's manager.
Okay.
Whose name was Paul Bunyan. He was signed to the label.
Okay.
I seen Home Team and all of them up there when they did the Pick It Up record. They actually mixed that at the studio.
Word.
And basically it started from there. Okay. So, from us doing performances together and, hearing the early demos, what I'm saying, that some of them are on some of the Slum releases.
Got you.
And it just started from there. Like big brother, little brother, and you seeing the guys, you running around the studio, you being bad. And, it just continued from there. So I would always see them when I would come home from school. When we moved the studio to the house, they would come over there to record. JD would track stuff out. He would go come use the equipment. So I would see him there. And then, it just continued to when we opened up the official location that everybody probably knows that's in Detroit. And my dad would leave them the key to come in and record after hours for free.
Okay.
So that's where they started kind of, putting volume 1 and some of these things together.
Okay.
And then, after that, that's when I really got an interest into it. And, he kind of took me under his wing and taught me how to produce.
That's crazy, B. That's crazy. So for you, then was it the thought of, okay, I want to go down the producer route? Was it, I want to do a little bit of everything? Like at that stage, then which direction were you heading?
Just producing. Gotcha. I was strictly focused on producing.
Okay.
I didn't start back rapping until maybe 2009, and Batian heard like a demo of me recording, and he was like, "Who is that?" And I was like, "That's me." And he was like, "Yo, you need to rap."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you really need to focus on it. And then that's what made me focus back into rapping.
That's what's up, B. That's what's up. So like I said, man, I went in, and started just trying to do a little bit more dive into the situation. Cause you see things on the periphery, and you see people who are doing work with crews, and you hear a little bit of this, a little bit of that. But then really looking at your art, especially as a solo artist, I got to give a shout out to the homie Young Jordan from Tinderbox. So he connected us, and that's when we really got a chance to start building.
Right.
But even at that point, I hadn't really gone back far enough. So like you said, you was going on the producer route, and then I realized that BR Gunna was your situation with Black Milk. So like, how did that all come together?
Okay. Remember the kids group I was telling you about?
Yeah.
Okay. So Black Milk's cousin and one of the guys that was in the group started a group.
Okay.
And Black Milk was producing for them.
Gotcha.
And he played me some of the songs. And I was like, "Yo, who doing the beats?" And he was like, "Yo, this guy named Black Milk, he in our group." And I was like, "You should have him come up to the studio." So he comes up to the studio and he plays some beats. And one of the first beats he played was "What Is This" off Trinity.
Okay.
So we ended up realizing that we was both trying to do the same thing, and we both were doing a lion's share of Slum's music at the time because it was taking a musical shift. And we was like, "Yo, we might as well just start a production crew."
Yeah.
And then it went from that to, working on Dirty District Volume 2, and Black saying he really didn't want to rap.
Got you.
He was like, "Yo, I don't want to rap." And I was like, "Yo, you got, you know what I'm saying? Like, you have to. You too good not to rap." And he was like, "Man, I really don't have the passion." So it went from that, and then we went and got Fat Ray.
Okay.
It was also a part of BR Gunna.
Okay.
And then it just, we just kept creating. And then eventually Black's career took off when he put out his one of his solo records, his mixtape.
Yeah.
And then we just never got back to it. But we ended up just as of recently releasing the instrumentals from Dirty District Volume 2 with like unheard songs that we never put on there.
Yeah. So
it may be like 6 or 7 new songs with Black and Fat Ray and everybody.
Yeah.
And we actually got another album.
Oh, still. Word. That's what's up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so we gonna probably release that this year.
That's what's up, B. That's what's up. So now you're really into the production piece. You're having success with that, building with artists in Detroit, and then even artists outside of Detroit, especially with how Slum is growing, and just everybody who's sort of weaving in and out through that process. All of the work that JD is doing, that Dilla is doing, and then Dilla, and it's interesting, man. I heard an interview recently, and the conversation was Slum had been doing work for a long time, almost 10 years before they first project released.
Yeah.
And so the idea of Slum getting on the scene, or people recognizing who Slum is, and then Dilla leaving the group, the point was made, but they had been making music for so long, and it was just at that point, you know, you grow, and the idea of, well, let's go do something different. So through that whole process, how did you then become a part of, like, an official part of Slum Village?
Okay, so this is how it kind of took place from, you said that 10-year period. So you're talking about from 92, 91, 92, the audition at the studio, everybody auditioning to them getting signed in 98. So the official release of, you know, in Detroit was 95 for volume 2, 95, 96.
Yeah.
Them getting the deal. 2000, Fantastic Volume 2 comes out. Mm-hmm. So the 2-year period of sitting, waiting, recording. And basically, Jay was like, yo, he just wanted to get the group to a place where it was self-sufficient. And once it became that, he was like, yo, now I can do what I want to do. Y'all off the ground. UNT, y'all got it from here. Yeah. This is the conversation. Y'all know how to make the beats. Y'all know how to mix the songs. Y'all got it. So we like, okay, boom. It starts with Trinity, with me, you know, well, it started with volume 2, producing on Climax with Jay and mixing it. And then going from that to Trinity and Ghost producing on some of these people's songs and, you know, paying dues to Detroit Deli. Mm-hmm. Now me and Black is BR Gunner and we doing the whole project except for Selfish. Wow. And Do You know, so, and it just kept going and going till we took a hiatus after Self-Titled. Mm-hmm. And that's when me and Pooh recorded What Was Lost in volume 1 to the guy saying, yo, we need to really focus on making the album. Yeah. You know, making a new album. We've been sitting for some years. We like, okay, cool. We go in, push the Pooh project to the side. We focus on the group, Slum Village. Yeah. Now, when we're done recording it, some little turmoil is kind of going on within the group. By 10 is back though. Mm-hmm. They doing Rock the Bells tour. Yeah. And by 10 says, yo, no matter what happened with me, put somebody else in the group. And, you know, a younger guy, mm-hmm. This is what he's telling me and RJ Senior, my pops. Yeah. And keep the group going. And we like, why do we need to keep the group going? You here, Martin. Everything is cool. Right. You know what I'm saying? We fine. We back. Yeah. He like, no, trust me, whatever happens, put somebody younger in the group. And remember, I told you by 10 told me, yo, you need to start rapping again. Right. Right. So I'm like, okay, all of this lines up. This is all the same time period. Yeah. By 10 passes the week after we had that conversation. So before Jay passed, he told me, yo, keep the group going no matter what. That's why we kept the group going and brought By 10 back. Yeah. By 10 passes, before he passes, he says, put somebody younger in the group. So me and Illa come into the group. Yeah. So once we got it back solidified, Illa was like, yo, I can really focus on what I'm doing, just like what his brother did. Yeah. You know, the focus was to get the brand back. And then me and 3 continue, you know, from there. So that's kind of how, you know, me becoming a member happened. You know, I had always been producing and engineering every session for Slum Village from 2002 to rapping. And then they saying, yo, man, you need to do this. That's crazy. We got to honor the wishes of, you know, 10 and Jay. So
yeah. Yeah. But how eerie is that though, B? Like that both Jay and By 10, you know, were speaking that prior to their passing. I mean, it's I don't know, it's like there's some foresight there, which is amazing, you know, just when we think about the connect and just how everything happens, you know, everything sort of falls into place that way.
Yeah, I mean it's eerie, but I think Jay knew.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, he knew, because we was talking. He was in the hospital bed, you know, communicating and talking. Yeah. And I would call him, and you know, he might not answer the phone, and I would just leave him a voicemail. And he was like, "Yo," he called me. The last conversation was, he called me. He was like, "Yo, I appreciate you, you know, not just calling and blowing my phone up, trying to give me the answer." He was like, you know, and giving me the time to get back to you. Like, I appreciate you. And, you know, I'm sending you some music, and go to my storage bin and take all my records out of there. Take all my records and all the music that I left, you know what I'm saying, for you, out the storage bin. And I was like, man, hell no, I'm not going to get that, because if I get it, when he get out the hospital, he's going to tell me, give me my records back. So, but I thought it was weird. And, you know, he was like, yo, and, you know, y'all got it, man. You know, y'all really got it rolling. And I'm like, okay, you know, it's not really clicking. But basically he knew, you know, he was, you know, it was coming to an end, and wanted me to get the stuff because he knew we would make sure his mother was good. Yeah. And then that same storage bin, years later, we forgot about, you know what I'm saying? And then you saw them saying it was the storage bin that was found, and, you know, he had everything labeled. So the stuff that was ours, it had our name on it. And that's how we, you know what I'm saying, they returned all the stuff back to us, and you know, we helped the family get situated.
Wow, dude, that's so dope, man. That's so dope. I want to talk a little bit more about JD, as he is. I mean, Dilla is so celebrated as a part of, you know, a part of the growth of the genre that we love, man. But you touched on it, and I got to spend a little bit of time on What Was Lost. So you said that you and Pooh were working on this project, What Was Lost, and got pushed to the side. What was that connect with you and Pooh? Like, how did y'all connect? How did y'all start even working on a project?
We met, me and Pooh met through a guy who was, you know, helping kind of run the company and managing me. Yeah. And worked for Violator, called Scrap Dirty. Okay. And me and Scrap Dirty, you know, basically he moved from Mississippi to Detroit. Okay. And I had this house in Farmington Hills that everybody would come to. And he was like, yo, come, you know, man, let's go to Chicago. We go to Chicago, and he had Pooh come through to his mom's house when they was having a party. Him and her, Pooh and Big came through. Okay. And it was like, yo, y'all should work on something. We like, you know, like, yeah, it could work. And we started sending joints back and forth, and then we just started recording. And you know, that project, man, I wish we would have put it out in its entirety. Yeah. Because we had everybody probably that you can think of on there. We had, of course, Slum, Marsha Ambrosia, Kendrick Lamar, J-Rock, Absol, Fonte. Who else was on there, man? Focus from Aftermath. He was on there. Mad Lib was on there. Oh, and you know, when the family needs you, you know what I'm saying? Slum needed my focus at the time. Yeah, yeah. So that's where I had to place the focus. You know what I'm saying? Yep. Was on that and on the home team. Yeah. But you know, luckily, man, people got a chance to hear, you know, a few of the joints. Word up, man. So if people haven't tapped in yet, man, you guys just released a project earlier in February, What Was Lost, Volume 1. It's the EP with you and Big Pooh. So a couple things, man. One, like you said, is so dope that we get to hear the work that you guys were doing at that time. Mm-hmm. One of the things that excites me is that it's Volume 1. Right. So I wonder, it makes me wonder, like, is it going to be, is what was lost going to be
something that you and Pooh continue to grow, or is it going to be what was lost from Young RJ? Because I know you got like a vault of material that you've recorded through the years that has never been released. I mean, is what was lost going to be a series that you're going to do, or have you even thought that far out?
Man, I haven't even thought that far out, to be honest with you. I do have some things I'm working on, like all of these projects that I worked on for these different people over the years, from Dilla to 50 Cent, and I'm thinking about putting the instrumentals, all the instrumentals together and releasing those because they not out.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I got a few things I'm working on, man. I was working on this project with Madlib, which was an instrumental album.
Yeah.
And if you look at his interview on Red Bull, he talks about the project. So I actually finished it, but everybody know Madlib go ghost.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He'll be around and he'll disappear. So I might put that out this year. And you know, so like you say, man, it's a lot of music.
Word up.
Yeah.
That's what's up. Let me say this, bro. Anybody who knows me personally, anybody who listens to like sets or whatever that I do, know I'm a huge Dilla fan, bro. So if you got any Dilla joints that you produce that will never be released, that you just want to, you know, slide to a super fan, I ain't gonna be mad at that, bro.
Man, you know what? I think we might have like maybe one or two more songs that we worked on. So, you know, maybe I shoot them to you just for your ears.
There you
know
go.
What I'm saying? For you to bounce around with them.
That's love, B. That's love. So you're continuing to make music, man, and then I was, you know, once again had to go and pull up the discography. So in 2017 you released Black Royalty, and we really get an opportunity to hear you like spit on the project. Was that the first project that you went into creating, saying like, this is my project where people gonna get to hear me produce and rhyme and all of that?
Yeah, for the most part, we did like a mixtape that came out in like 2009, but it was me and another guy named Vice rhyming on it.
Yeah.
And, but as official release, yeah, that's like my first joint. The thing is, a lot of these Slum projects were always meant to be my album.
Oh, word.
So I would go in, like even Detroit Deli, me and Black Milk was doing the follow-up to Be Our Gunner, Dirty District Volume 2.
Yeah. And
we would have the song done and they would come in like, yo, we need that. So from like the song with ODB on Detroit Deli, the Hours, all of them joints was like Be Our Gunner songs. That's the reason why it never came out. It took so long.
Gotcha.
Because they was taking a joint. So like Dirty Slums and all of that was like where I was making a body of work for myself.
Yeah. And
they, you know, it just always turned into we needing to focus and keep the brand going because that's what we promised everybody.
Yeah.
So 2017 was like the first time that I didn't have that obligation to, you know, work on a Slum Village album.
Got you.
And I could focus on, you know, what I wanted to give to people.
Yeah, yeah. One of the other things that I think is dope that, you know, to celebrate is I always think it's cool when you have, and you've mentioned it a number of times, but when you have crews, when you have collectives who have longevity, and that's one of the things that we see with Slum, that Slum Village continues to be crew. I mean, obviously things have been limited in terms of being on the road, but you guys are constantly on the road, constantly. We get an opportunity to see you out and doing things, and you have this longevity. And then we know that some of our favorite crews or some of our favorite collectives, they don't have that same longevity. And you mentioned that there was an assurance made to Baten, to J Dilla, that you guys would continue on that legacy. So I just want to point that out, man, and recognize that and say, you know, big ups to y'all for continuing that from a fan perspective, from someone who's a fan of the art. I just think that's huge that you guys are continuing to keep this thing moving, man, and you know, give the genre what you give at Slum Village.
Well, you know, I appreciate that, man, and I know 3 would appreciate that. And the thing is, what keeps a group together for all them years is you really have to be family, because every day is not going to be great.
Yeah.
Every year is not going to be a great money earning year. You have some years that you got to sit out. So you really gotta, it's a marriage, man. You really gotta like the person that you're in the group with.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, me and Three, you talking about somebody I've been knowing since I was, 8 years old, something like that.
Yeah.
So you talking about 20, 30 years of knowing this man, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And from us living together in the same space, so everybody could focus on recording,
Yeah.
to, you know, like, you know, we bump heads, but we family.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why it's so tight like that. You know what I'm saying? So that's the reason why we've been able to weather all these storms, man, is, you know, we love each other, and, you know, we want to keep it going. That's where our focus is.
That's what's up. There was a video that dropped in, I don't remember if I saw it at the beginning of 2020 or if it was in 2019, where you guys were doing a festival. And I was watching the clip, and y'all was doing Selfish, and at the end of the joint the music dropped and the hook kept going. And then there was this dude singing the hook, and I looked up and it was the homie Wheels, and I was like, what?
Yeah, man. AKA White Chocolate. That's what we call him on the road. Because he's officially a soul brother. So yeah, man.
That's the homie, man. So for all the Portland heads, man, DJ Wheels has been on the road with Slum Village for a number of years now. How did that connect happen?
That happened through the booking agent. Okay. We was trying to get the right DJ, and we was about to go out on the run, and he was like, yo, I got somebody for y'all. Y'all can try him out. And you know, he came to Detroit. The crazy part is he came to Detroit the day before we were supposed to leave to go to tour. Okay. So we really didn't have a whole lot of time to rehearse. So the first show in New York on the Pete Rock and Slum run, it wasn't a great show. So, you know, Will was just like, yo, man, y'all gonna fire me. We was like, nah, man, you know, we not. You know, let's just get it together and sound check. You know, we're going to really take some time and work on it. And we got it together, man. And, you know, like I say, man, we family, like even with quarantine going over, everybody still speaks, man, from at least, I would say once or twice a week. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Even with everything going on. That's what's Me up. And T talk 3 days a week. Yeah. So, you know, it's family. That's the homie. Wills is the homie, man.
That's so cool, man. And he's such a good human being, man. And it's dope to see. We were doing some event, and I remember in talking to him, or maybe I was gonna have him on the radio show, and he was like, "Yeah, man, let's schedule something tentatively, but you know, if I get the call, I got to bounce." And it's just, you know, just so happy for him that he's got that connect with y'all, and he's out there doing his thing.
Yeah, we got a lot of stories, man. You know, from being on the road, man, and you know, when we come down there, man, we should definitely set something up, man, and get Wheels on the air.
Word up, let's do it. Let's do it. So then, you know, I mentioned, you know, the connect with Jordan and Tinderbox, and you and I have continued to build, and I saw that you were releasing a new project with Megaran, who I was familiar with, hadn't really done a big dive into his music. And y'all released this project, Two Hands Up, last year in 2020, the beginning of 2020. And you're one of those artists. There are certain individuals where, like, when I see they're releasing music, I just grab it and yes, this is going into sets, just because I kind of have a sense of you know, the aesthetic of and stylistically and content, kind of know what to expect. Bro, this album blew me away. Like, you know, I got invited or asked to, you know, create a favorite albums of 2020 situation. People listen to the show or listen to sets that I do. So often there were joints from that album in sets. I feel like it was definitely one of the absolute best records to release that came across my radar in 2022. Hands Up, man. Talk to me about that project. Like, where did that idea concept come from, and then how did you and Mega Ran even connect on this?
Man, first I appreciate that, man, because we definitely worked hard on it. That was a project that was in the making for a minute. That was actually the follow. I would say like a good half of the album was a follow up for the next Young RJ album.
Okay, word.
And while working on the project, I was like, man, I don't want to keep doing the same features. You know what I'm saying? Yes, I can go get Slum. Yes, I can hit Pete. And like, I've done that.
Yeah.
So what's next? So I spoke with Jordan, and he was like, man, this is a list of artists I think that would be dope. And it was maybe about 4 artists. And listened to Ran, and I was like, yo, I think we might be able to make a good song. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's my focus. It's not really about the fan base. Is the song gonna be good?
Yeah.
So I hit Ran up, and he was like, yo, are you serious? Like, he thought it was a mistake. I was reaching out to the wrong person.
Yeah.
And I was like, nah, like I love what you're doing. I think we can make, a good song. It started off as one song.
Yeah, yeah.
And I sent him the record. That record was Pray.
Okay.
Which was the first song we dropped.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, this is dope. Like, we sound good together. Mm-hmm. So I was like, I'm gonna send you something for your project. I sent it to him, came back dope. I'm like, okay, that's 2 records that came back dope. I'm like, I'm gonna send you another one. So I sent him another record, and that came out dope too. And I was like, yo, man, like, all these joints is coming out dope. Man, maybe we should, just do a project. What you think about that? And he was like, man, this is what I've been waiting on. I've been waiting on a project to where I can rap about what's really going on, real life stuff.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we locked in, and I took the joints off that I was working on for my project, and we finished them up, ran through his verses in, and we knocked it out. And it took us like 2 months to do that project.
Wow. Once again, man, if people haven't checked it out yet, I highly encourage people to go check out 2 Hands Up. It's available everywhere that you stream music, or you can cop it. It's funny, B, because, that idea of talking about rapping about really what's going on, it's such a timely project. There are certain songs that we celebrate that were recorded in the 60s, and because they're still relevant. And I feel like there are joints on this album where that will be the case. You know what I'm saying? Where, if the world lasts this long, 20 years from now, people will go back and they'll still find songs on this album that will still resonate with the times. And I don't feel like that's the easy thing to do, especially with how quickly music is made now and how quickly music is put out. To make those songs that have so much depth and content. And it sounds like that was like that was the thought when you were making the project, that's what you want to do. Is that correct?
Yeah, that was a conscious decision that me and Mega Ran was coming with, was just talking about things that's real. Like I say, the first record that I sent him was Pray.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so that's kind of set the tone of like, yo, this is the direction. I feel like music, man, if it doesn't have a meaning behind it, it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
It's just something that you just putting on there to fill up space.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm not really with that. So, man, we definitely made the conscious effort to make that project like that, man. And we got some stuff for the next one, man. I'm definitely gonna text you some joints and let you check them out, because we, like I say, we pretty much done.
Oh, word. Yeah. That's exciting to hear, bro.
Yeah, man, we like nine songs deep. We took a break for like a month or 2 because we really wanted to make sure that we finishing it up correct. Yeah. Sometimes you got to step away and or you keep making the same stuff. So now we back focused. We gonna lock back in and knock out these next couple joints, and it's on. So
that's what's up, B. Chopping up with Young RJ. So a little while ago, you hit me and you gave me a little sneak peek of some other stuff that you working on, bruh.
yeah.
Like, man, you forever work, which is dope. I like, and once again, as a fan, thank you. You forever working, bro. So you let me hear a couple joints that you're working on, and is this gonna be for the new Young RJ record? You got some collabs that you let me peek. Talk to me about that in terms of what you can share. You know what I'm saying? I know some stuff you got to keep on the low.
Yeah, it's I'm working on it. It's either gonna be an EP or an album, man. I got enough for an album.
Okay.
You know, I got a few people on there. Got Blue on there. I got Little Brother on there. Who else is on there? You know, Illa on there. Megaran is on there.
Okay.
I'm reaching out to Pete.
Okay.
I just want to get the right joint. And then I'm trying to get Dilla on there too. So you know,
talking about, bruh.
it's working, man. You know, I want to make sure the joints is right. Then I got the dramatics on there.
Yes.
Too.
Yes.
Bodie James is on there from Griselda. So you know, just working, man. The joints that make it. You know what I'm saying?
Word up, man. You told me a story the last time that we talked about a connect that happened early in your career with Kurupt.
For sure.
Tell the folk that story, bro.
Okay, so when we were working on Volume 2, Kurupt was working on that double album, Corruption. And he wanted production from the team. So my dad was still producing at the time. So him and my dad locked in and they did a song called Who You Be. So it went from that to him coming to Detroit. And now he's working on Space Boogie Smoke Odyssey. And I'm like, okay, you know, I gotta go up there and meet him because I was a fan of the Dog Pound.
Yeah.
So he, you know, this time I had been working on beats for a minute. First time I played beats for Dilla, him and T3 and Bati, they laughed at the beats. And he was like, yo, I'm gonna show you a few things. So he showed me some stuff and then he came back another time, showed me some stuff. And then I didn't see Jay no more. Now he has to deal with MCA. So we gonna pick back up there.
Okay.
So Kurupt is in Detroit. I play him the beats that nobody has heard technically since they laughed at the beats.
Right.
So my dad, like, you know, be honest, you know, what you that one, and pull them up. Let's work.
Wait, RJ, we got. Hold up. You got a little jarble. So you said he came through and Pops was like, "Tell me what you think."
Yeah, he said, "Play him some beats, man." So I'm playing the beats, and my Kurupt like, "Yeah, I want that. I want this," and he like, you know, you can be honest with him. You know what I'm saying? He like, no, I'm serious. You know, like pull him up. Yeah. So like the whole time he was in Detroit, we was working on. You know what I'm saying? He was working with me.
Yeah.
So then, man, we knocked out like 3 or 4 records. And, you know, I just listened to him the other day. I got the DAT. So, you know, maybe we might put them out or something like that. But that's what happened.
Wow.
So now Jay finds out, man, Jay might have 3 or 4 songs on Kurupt new album. So he like, yo, bring him to the studio. So he picks me up from school. We go to Studio A, and that's when me and him worked on some of them joints for the MCA album, which was what's the name of the album that he put out that had Snoop and everybody on it? The documentary.
Yeah. I had to go back and look, but
yeah, it was that album.
Okay.
And you know, man, we locked in and we did a few songs. So like, it's still, like I said, it's still music that we never put out.
Right.
So that happens. Kurupt like, yo, man, I got a brother. I'm like, okay. I want you and my brother to be in a group together.
Yeah.
So the plan was for me and Roscoe to be the new Daz and Kurupt. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For the younger dudes.
Right.
And then Kurupt ended up naming me Young RJ Niastra. Because remember, all of them had them Godfather, Frank Sinatra kind of names.
Right.
And that's where the name of the company came from, was Kurupt. So, you know what I'm saying?
Crazy.
That's really where it all kicked off.
That's
Kurupt
crazy.
and Fat Cat.
That's nuts, bro. That's nuts.
Yeah.
It's so cool to hear those stories, man, because they're just a part of our normal life, right? We see this stuff, but I'm always interested in the kind of the behind the scenes, like what was the genesis of these things that are now just a part of our everyday how we move, man. That's so dope, B. That's so dope.
Word, man. Shout out to Kurupt, man, because he's the one that made people like really take it serious.
That's what's up.
You know what I'm saying? T3 and all of them included. You know what I'm saying? So probably no Kurupt. You know, maybe if Kurupt didn't come to the studio,
yeah,
or to Detroit, you know what I'm saying? Kurupt and Fat Cat, them putting a stamp on it.
Yeah.
Maybe, you know what I'm saying? Who knows what the story would be.
Word up, B. You've been associated throughout your career with so many people who, again, we celebrate in this art. And it's crazy, B, because, you know, I tell people all the time, hip hop is middle age now. Like the whole genre of hip hop, everything, MCing, DJing, b-boying, writing, it's all, you know, in its late 40s. And so we have an opportunity to look back at a lot of the folk who laid the foundation. We've had an opportunity to see how, you know, how the genre has grown, and we've had an opportunity to see how these collectives and how these groups have built. And you've, like I said, man, you've tapped in and connected with so many people that we celebrate. From, you know, you mentioned Black Milk, just Slum Village as a crew. You mentioned artists like Kurupt, all the people that you've worked with, Dilla, you know, having Elzai as a part of Slum, like all of these people that we celebrate. And yet you continue to then connect with people who maybe everybody doesn't know, like Megaran, you know, kind of bringing artists into other people's atmosphere. Are there other artists that you know that we don't know about yet? Do people reach out to you who are like trying to come up and say, yo, I'm just trying to get on? Are there some people that we should be tapped into?
It's still people that they don't know that we were responsible for putting the music out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like the first time you heard Guilty Simpson was on Dirty District Volume 1 for the mass public.
Yeah.
So, you know, you had Elzai on there, you had D12 on there. This is all 2001. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So a lot of these artists, that was the first time you heard them.
Yeah.
We helped put out Dweller's first album, To Find a Way.
Yeah.
Truth album. So it's a lot of stuff. I think is now is focusing on things that that I got a passion for. The last person that I would put like a stamp on would probably be like Super Kane.
Okay.
He's from Detroit. We put out a couple of his records, and now he's in Cali writing like #1 records for other artists. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's, you know, it's dope. You got Brittany Carter. She dope.
Okay.
It's a lot of dope talent out here, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's just them focusing on making the right project. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's about the songs, and a lot of times people just focus on how good the rap is. Mm-hmm. Replay value. Yeah. The song gotta have replay value, no matter how good the bars is.
Yeah. Yeah. Say that. Say that. You are, I mean, I think it's probably fair to say you started so young in your career that you are an elder statesman now. You are an OG. And I hope that folk recognize that through this process, and then just through the art that you're putting out there. I hope that folk recognize, you know, your place in this whole situation, man. And you're from Detroit. You continue to hold it down in Detroit. You know, you no plans to like move out to LA. You know, everybody's going out to LA now.
Man, I feel like this if the music is dope enough, people gonna come to you. It don't matter where you at.
Say that, bro.
You know, the music, working in Detroit and got me in the studio with everybody from Dr. Dre to Kurupts, you know, 50 Cents, Young Bucks, and all of them people. Yeah. So it's like, I don't need to necessarily move. If I'm moving, it would be because I just want warm weather. You know what I'm saying? not because of an opportunity that can come from it. So
yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up. So, bruh, like I said, people can check out What Was Lost. That's available for streaming. Still want people to go and check out Two Hands Up, and then do like I did, man. Do a dive and look at the rest of your discography as Young RJ, aside from the stuff that you do with Slum. Oh, the other thing I want to talk about real quick was you got together with Abstract Orchestra, and you guys did the Fantastic Situation in. It released in 2019, or was that last year it released? Volume 1 and Volume 2?
It came out at the end of 2019.
Yeah. So hopefully people are up on Abstract Orchestra, an amazing group of musicians and artists. But can you just take a quick sec and talk about that project, how that came together?
2020 came from, Fantastic 2020 came from us being on tour, and we were doing shows in the UK, and Abstract was our opening act.
Yeah.
And it went from that to, you know, us and Rob kind of developing a relationship, you know what I'm saying? And we was bouncing around ideas of what we wanted to do for the 20th anniversary. Mm-hmm. And my thing is, I was kind of I had a couple ideas. One was to get all my favorite producers to remix the Fantastic Volume 2. Yeah. But I'm like, I don't know, because people are fans of the original. Sometimes when you mess with a classic, what people call a classic, they get to you about it. So I was like, yo, what if we do a live orchestra and have it done and commemorate it that way? Yeah. And Rob was down, and we put it together.
So dope, B. Such a dope idea, such a dope concept, and not just anybody can pull it off, which is one of the things that I think has to be recognized. And just again, it expands on and helps to continue to celebrate, you know, what Slum has done throughout the years, man. So big ups to y'all for putting out even more great music.
Oh man, thank you, man. You know, if the music ain't heard, it don't matter how great it is. So, you know, you play a part in that too, man. We're making sure that the new generation of cats is still have an avenue to hear, you know what I'm saying, this type of music. So
that's what we
thank
do.
You.
For sure, B. For sure. Yo, if people want to tap in, man, if they want to see, you know, how you moving, what you working on, what you doing, you know, if they just want to be plugged in, we talked about a bunch of projects that you're working on and more things that we can expect in 2021. But if people want to stay tapped in, what's the best way to do that?
Social media, man, on Young RJ 313 on all platforms, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Young RJ 313. Follow, man. Subscribe on Spotify. Subscribe on Apple Music, Deezer. So that way, when new joints come out, if you ain't online, you still will be up to date with what everybody doing, man. So, you know, follow them Spotify's. You know what I'm saying? Let's get it.
Word up. Young RJ, homie. Look, bro. Like I said, for me, it's so dope to just be able to build with you over the years as a person, you know, definitely as a fan of the art that you make, man. I just want to say thank you so much for taking the time and chopping it up, bro. I truly appreciate it.
Thank you. And I'm texting you joints now.
That's what's up.
I'm literally sending you me and Rand project.
So, yes, sir. Look at that. Yes, sir. Okay. I will. I'm a log off of this, and I'm gonna pull it up and just listen through the rest of my day.
Let me know, man. These all roughs. They ain't mixed. You know what I'm saying? But you know, I send you some joints
That's what's up.
Let you get a feel for what's going on, bro.
Okay, I will definitely do that. Thank you, homie. I truly appreciate it, bro.
Word, thank you, man. And I'm here anytime. You know what I'm saying? You want to chop it up? We got a new release or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Let's jump on.
We gonna do it, bro. We gonna do it. Yes, sir. Young RJ, man,
Word.
Slum Village, and all of that. Be sure to tap in with him, man. Once again, man, check out the Klyph Notes podcast everywhere you listen to your podcast. It's available everywhere you listen to audio, so definitely tap in with that. A couple of shout outs real quick, man. Big ups to Akepele Apparel for their continued support of the Klyph Notes podcast. Check them out. They just released new gear. Their fall and winter line is out. I know they're working on the summer situation. You know what I'm saying? It's apparel for the music lifestyle. Akepele Apparel is AKEPELE.com. And then last but never ever least, big ups to the homie Theory Hazit for creating the official theme song of the Klyph Notes podcast. Before I sign off, B, I was talking to Theory, and I need to try to link y'all, bro. He told me that y'all linked back in the day, like way back in the day. So we gonna work on something, bro.
Let's do it. tell him to come on with it.
Word up. Yo, absolutely, man. Check in with the Klyph Notes podcast at klyphnotes.com. If you have questions or comments, you can hit me up on the Gmail, klyphnotes@gmail.com. Once again, thank y'all so much for tapping in. God bless you. Until we have an opportunity to do it again. Peace.